Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of it.Yolk'd. I'm Steve.
And I'm Paul, and today we have a very special reveal right here for you guys at the beginning of the show. We're doing a ton of work decking out Newegg for Christmas and putting up all the Christmas lights that we could get our hands on. So 700,000 lights have been used to array across the front of the building. We've wired that all up to this SciTech controller for some strange reason. And Steve, I would love it if you would go ahead, do the honors and go ahead and charge that up for the first time.
I would love to, Paul. Thank you very much. Here we go.
As participants in the technology industries, it gives us a sense of pride and awe when technology can be used to enrich and improve overall quality of life, even if that life is a four-legged and furry one. Derby was born without front legs, but was one lucky dog when he was taken into foster care by a 3D Systems employee. Two 3D Systems engineers and animal orthotist Derek Campana took scans of Derby's legs, which were used to build molds and cradles with a 3D printer. These cradles hold Derby comfortably, and the lower part, which resembles half a wheel, allows him to run and jump with ease. Eventually, the prosthetics will be made taller so that Derby has a more level back and upright posture, but for now his adoptive owners are enjoying taking him on jogs like they would with any other canine companion. It's innovations like these that truly validate the medium of 3D printing, giving engineers and healthcare workers in all disciplines the freedom to create based on the exact needs of their patients.
Valve's decision to pull a controversial shooting game, Hatred, from the Steam Greenlight voting system is contributing to the gray area that is video game censorship. Kotaku, Forbes, Polygon, and other sites have all spoken out against the game, a self-proclaimed genocide crusade. What Kotaku writer Nathan Grayson is calling attention to is not the merit of whether or not the game should be sold on the readily accessible Steam, but that Valve needs to be more specific in its rules that dictate when a game is belligerent enough to be pulled from Steam Greenlight. Currently, Steam simply states that a game must not contain offensive material or violate any copyrights. Who decides what is or isn't offensive? Well, apparently Gabe Newell does. In an update from PC Gamer this morning, Hatred is back on Steam Greenlight. Gabe N is quoted as saying, "Yesterday, I heard that we were taking Hatred down from Greenlight. Since I wasn't up to speed, I asked around internally to find out why we had done that. It turns out that it wasn't a good decision and we'll be putting Hatred back up." He then apologized to the devs and reminded everyone that Steam is about creating tools for content creators and customers.
Praise Gavin.
Gavin be praised.
Data storage wars are continuing between U.S. prosecutors and Microsoft over alleged emails that might have implications in a drug trial. The data itself is stored in Ireland, and Microsoft has rallied the support of eBay, Apple, Verizon, Amazon, Cisco, and others who also believe that a U.S. court has no jurisdiction over data not stored on U.S. soil. The U.S. judge feels that where the information is stored is irrelevant, as it can be accessed from anywhere, including inside the U.S. The outcome of this disagreement will have strong implications on the future of privacy and data storage laws. If it is decided that where a piece of data is physically stored dictates its ability to be used as evidence in a crime or criminal proceeding, restrictions might be placed on where large data companies can house data servers. This would create a situation where people would be using foreign data centers like Swiss bank accounts in an old spy movie to hide communication about illegal activity. Come to think of it, people do that right now. But maybe you just want to be sure that Grandma's secret chocolate chip cookie recipe stays a secret, so you pay for a cloud service in another country. Whatever the use case scenario may be, it is refreshing at least to see Microsoft standing on the side of privacy protection, at least in this circumstance. Not too long ago, it was assumed that Microsoft made encrypted data available to the NSA on a whim, and consumers were not too pleased. It isn't that the vast majority of users are criminals, it's the principle of a private company giving away windows into our lives. See what I did there? In any case, it will be interesting to see in the coming months and years how jurisdiction is applied to offshore storage. For now, Microsoft seems to be donning its helm and readying for battle on the side of the people. For now.
According to Google, the search engine was used over 1 trillion times in 2014. The list of top searches play out as a monosyllabic and single-name reminders of all the events of the past year. ALS Ice Bucket Challenge made us aware that people don't understand how challenges are supposed to work. Weren't you meant to give a donation instead of dumping cold water on top of your head? Perhaps cold water isn't threatening enough. Hot coals. Now that's a challenge. The viral water wasting occupied our social feeds for weeks and was the number 6 search term in the US, beat out by Flappy Bird. Remember Flappy Bird and all of its related crazes? People eBaying phones with the game still installed for relatively crazy amounts of money, and even creating real-life replications of the game when the developer pulled the app down. The frenzy was entertaining, but now looking back at it, what the hell were we thinking? We were also searching hard for Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, a search that is estimated to continue until May 2015. Searches for Ebola were edged out by the global hunt for the World Cup stats, but the top global search belongs to not an event, but a man, Robin Williams. When the entertainer took his own life, users took to Google search for everything from his life to movie history, and more importantly, searched for information on depression-related topics. Perhaps Google searches can find more than just celebutant exploits, and instead be used to seek self-betterment, enrichment, and community on a global scale.
So fortunately, the fire is mostly contained right now. Fatalities were kept to a minimum. But I think just doing a little troubleshooting here, the main issue, we're trying to push about 75,000 volts through a standard USB 2.0 connector. I think perhaps a slightly thicker gauge cable could be an issue, but we'll get some fixes going for that, and we'll hopefully have some updates for you very soon. But that's all for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Steve, you're going to be on Alt-Tab on Friday?
Yes, sir.
All
We
right.
will have a special guest.
Really?
Yes.
We'll
see
leave
who it is.
Well, it's very mysterious. Stay tuned for Alt-Tab on twitch.tv/Newegg TV. That's going up on Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's all for this episode, guys. Until next time.
You've just been
Yoked.
yoked.